Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Please ensure to like, share, and subscribe. And also click the bell notification in the top right-hand corner to be made aware anytime I upload tutorials or videos to YouTube. All right, let's craft together. All right, guys, today we're going to be doing a Magic Flock Hotfix Rhinestone in the SS10. So we're in Cricut Design Space. I'm going to go ahead and upload my image. We're going to click Upload Image, Browse, and I have this in my downloads. We're going to open that file, and this is the image. When you get here, it's going to say Cut Image. You're just going to hit Upload in the bottom right corner, and there's our image. We're going to click on it, and in the bottom right corner, click Add to Canvas. Now, when you get to this point, do not resize this image. If you resize this image, you're going to be changing the size of your little circles, which are large enough right now for your SS10 rhinestones. Okay, so do not resize. This is as large as it's going to be. It's 8.206 by 10.897. Okay, so this is gonna show on two different mats. It's gonna have the silver color rhinestones on one mat and then the red rhinestones on another one. Now I don't actually have red, but I'm gonna use a different color. All right, so once you bring your template in, then you want to click on Make It. There's nothing else to do here. And they have let's see, they got beaver. I don't know why these wouldn't be on the same because they look the same color, but let's just take a look here. So we're going to click on Make It in the top right corner. And so here are your two mats. This is going to be your silver, everything that's going to have your silver rhinestones. And this one is going to be the one that has your red rhinestones. Okay. And so we'll be able to cut this and get everything in the direction that we need it to go. So let me take a look here. I'm going to cancel just for a second and just make sure. Yeah, so this will be the, this part right here will be the part that we'll kind of cut, and I'll bring that over just a little bit. Actually, I probably can bring it. Trying to figure out the best way to not use up so much flock. So I think I'm going to do it like that, and then I can just cut here. Okay, but you don't want to mess with these because those are already in the position they need to be. This I can take and put it wherever I want it on the shirt, but I need to leave these in place so that they will fit directly where they need to go when I put them on. Okay, so at this point you're going to click on continue. There's nothing else to do here. Oh, I do bring mine down just a little bit because sometimes I notice that it's kind of like right at the top, and I don't like that. So we're going to click continue. Now I'm going to try something different this time. I created a material and I'm calling it Magic Flock Test. So I'm going to click on Browse All Material, and then I'm going to type in Magic and search, and this is it here. And I actually have this set at 350 for the cut pressure, and I'm going to put it on more. And I only want it to cut once. So I'm going to see if it speeds up the time a little bit. So I'm going to hit done. And you see Magic Flock Test. I'm going to select more for the pressure. We're using a fine point blade. I'm going to go ahead and get this loaded up. Come on camera so you can see from here. All right, guys, so I have my magic flock and I've cut it. And I think I have it sized pretty good that I should not have any issues. I'm going to be using my purple mat, which is my strong grip. And you want to make sure that when you're using the magic flock, that for best results, go ahead and take off that carrier sheet. So we're going to go ahead and peel that away. And you can trash that. And then you want to go ahead and get your magic flock laid on your mat. And you want to make sure that your mat is really good and sticky, guys. I can't stress that enough when you're doing this project. And what I like to do is to take my brayer and I kind of roll it over a couple of times like this, just to make sure that it's good and sticky. And you know, hopefully that everything sticks and works like it should. Now, again, I've changed this to, I've created my own material for this. I've called it Magic Flock Test. So I have my pressure at 350. I'm only going to do one cut, but I have it set at more. And I'm going to see if it cuts all the way through. So this is going to be the first time I'm trying it that way. But again, you want to make sure that your Magic Flock is really, really sticky. That's why I'm using my purple mat, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and I have already put it on more pressure. Cricut is ready. My maker is ready to accept it into my cutting machine. And what I always like to do is just a spot check on my fine point blade, just to make sure that there's no material from a previous cut stuck to it. So you kind of push it up and just kind of look at it to make sure there's nothing stuck to it. And you can also use aluminum foil. I normally take aluminum foil and ball it up, and then I take my blade and I just kind of poke it a couple of times to kind of sharpen my knife or my blade, my fine point blade, just a couple of times like that. And we're going to go ahead and we are going to put this back in our machine, and then we're going to go ahead and load our magic flock. Okay, so I'm going to load this. Now, I'm not going to move this over so you can see it cutting and all that good stuff, because I'll take it off here in just a minute when it's done. But I'm going to go ahead and get it started. And then when it's done, I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you the results before I take it off the mat. So we'll take it off the mat together, and I'll time it. I'll time it to see how long it takes. But yeah, this is the SS10 Magic Flock Hotfix Rhinestones, and I'm going to be using 2 different colors of rhinestones. All right, so once it started cutting, as you can hear, once it finishes cutting, then I'll come back and we'll do the reveal together to see if it cut through, and if it didn't, then we'll put it through again. But I'm trying to find a quicker way to cut this because it's really, really thick, and so far I've been having to do 2 cuts. So I'm trying to see if I can save time, but make sure that it still cuts through on that first go round. All right, so I'll be back. All right, guys, so it took all of about 8 minutes. I lifted it up a little bit when it was done to see if it cut all the way through, and it didn't. So I'm gonna go one more time. So I'm not going to click on the double arrows and unload the mat. I'm just gonna click on the Cricut logo, and it'll just go back in and it'll resume cutting again. So we'll see if it cuts through this time, which it should, but we'll see. All right, stay tuned. All right, so that time it seemed to do the trick. We're gonna go ahead and lift it up and see what we got. You can see where I kind of started pulling it up right here just to see if it cut through. And we're gonna take a look. All right, so at this point, you're going to go ahead and pull up the magic flock from your mat. And I'll just do it this way so you guys can kind of see. So I do see some little splotches where I might have to work to remove them. And you guys can see where it did cut. And it looked like it did my shoes. My shoes and my little bow thing with Diva first, which is fine. But it took all of 16 minutes, if that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. Now, wherever you have any little holes that it did not push all the way through, I bought another weeding tool, but for some reason, I don't know what I did with it. I'm going to open up this one. The dollar store now sells a lot of Cricut stuff, cutting tools. So I got this from the Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to poke out the little holes where I see that it did not cut all the way through. But not a bad setting for 16 minutes, because if you use it on the paper flock setting, it takes like 30 and 40 minutes to cut stuff. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't have that kind of time. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to finish punching these holes out so you don't have to sit on here with me. And then I'm going to get it set up. You can see where the Diva cut. I'm going to get it set up to cut our next, our lady out. And then we'll start putting our rhinestones in. So I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I have my Diva, my shoes, my little skirt or whatever little part that was of her. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this and I'm going to place it on some cardstock, just regular piece of cardstock. And what this will do is allow me to have a template that I can use over and over again without having to recut this. So I'm going to cut out my little shoe and everything in the position in which it is. I'm going to get Diva right there. And that way, when I put my rhinestones on, it will all come together. So let me see if I'm going to have enough room. I might have to get a larger piece of cardstock. It's not cardstock. Uh-oh. This is what happens when I have a lot of scrap cardstock. All my scrap pieces come forward and all my other pieces are hidden behind here. All right, let's see if this works. Oh, you know what? I could have did it this way. I didn't even think about that. All right, so I'm just gonna lay my, I'll show you what I'm doing here. So I just take and I put my magic clock on a piece of cardstock, and then I'm gonna put the Diva on here. And Diva was kind of going upward. I'm gonna put my Diva on. Just like this. Okay. So next I'm gonna cut out the lady, the Diva. I'm gonna cut her out, and then we'll be ready to start placing our rhinestones. So this is my template now, so I won't have to cut this again. All I have to do is just lay my rhinestones on here and keep it pushing. So I'll take this one and I'll have this one for the Diva portion of the cut. So I'm going to go in now and I'm going to start the cut for the Diva. When I get ready to take these little pieces of the Magic Flock off, I like to use my little dustpan and my little broom. And I'm going to turn this around so you can see it, but I'm not going to be saying anything just in case the volume cuts out. But I just want to show you how easy it is to get these little dots uh, off of my mat. Out of the way. And there you have it. See how easy that was? Doesn't take a whole lot. I like to use that because it gets them up really easy off of my mat. So I'm going to go ahead and put my Magic Flock down for the Diva. Again, I'm going to cut her out using the Magic Flock test material setting that I used. I have it at a pressure of 350. I am going to change it to do a multi-cut, which is to cut twice because I found that works best. And I still left it on more pressure, but it was perfect as you saw. It didn't take a lot of time. So it took my time down from being 35 plus minutes to 16 minutes. I'd rather deal with 16 for a cut than 40 and more or 35 and more. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get that cut. You would follow the same process. Then I'm going to come back and we're going to start laying our rhinestones. All right, guys, so I cut my piece of flock vinyl for my Diva. I'm going to pull the carrier sheet off. Just like that. Nothing stuck to the back. And then I'm going to go ahead and lay this down on my purple mat. And again, make sure that it's good and sticky. Good and sticky. Let's see if I go this way. Okay. Just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and get it cut, and then I'll come back. We'll get it pulled off. We'll set up our template on our cardstock, and then we'll go ahead and start putting our rhinestones, our 2 different color rhinestones in. All right, I'm going to be putting this on a black shirt right here, and I think it's going to turn out gorgeous, so stay tuned. All right, guys, so we now have our Diva cut out. It did take quite a bit of time. It was about 35 minutes in total. So we're gonna go ahead and start pulling off here. That's the head part or the hair part. You can see there are some little spaces in there, not much. That's the body part. Got your legs. All right, there we go. So that is our Diva. So you can see we have a few areas that we have to go on here and push out, but not very many. Look like most of the leg part did really, really well. So I probably will keep that setting, the magic flock test that I created. I'm going to go ahead and get this set up, and then I'm going to take this cardstock. I'm going to put it on this cardstock right here, so I always have a template that I can use. I'll never have to cut this file again. And then we'll get started laying our rhinestones. All right, guys, so we have all of our little magic flock circles pushed out. And now I'm just going to take and I'm going to layer this or lay it on top of my cardstock. And this is going to now be my template. That little excess right here, just going to cut that off. And there you have it. So now we have our word diva along with our shoes and our little outfit thingy that or stool or whatever that is she's sitting on. So we'll put that on. But this is going to be silver. And then I can't remember the other color, but it's going to be close to the reddish color for the shoes and everything else. Okay. So I'm going to do I think I'm going to do her first. So I'm going to turn this around so you'll be able to see me putting the rhinestones in. The two colors I'm going to be using. This one is Hyacinth. That one. And then this one is Crystal AB. Okay, so the bulk of it is going to be the Crystal AB, and then I'm going to do the shoes and everything else in the Hyacinth. All right, so I'm going to turn us around and we'll get started putting our rhinestones in. All right, guys, we're going to start out putting our rhinestones onto our diva. So you just want to take and you just want to, you know, kind of pour a little bit on there. And hopefully we have enough, because this is all I have. So hopefully I'm not spinning my wheels for nothing. So you kind of just, you know, use like a little bit of a circular motion to kind of try to brush them in place. Just take your time. And the object of the game is to get them to fall into place. Sometimes you might end up with some of them looking like they're doubled, and you just take your time to, you know, move them. But this is a job that requires patience. This is not something that you can just, you know, knock out really easily like some of our stuff that we do, but it's well worth the effort. So just take your time. And you'll end up with a really pretty outcome. So again, just take your time. And don't do like I did when I was first learning this. I actually waste my beads. So that's probably why I have a lot less of these beads than I would have had. And that's because I was trying to go fast and I accidentally wasted them. Again, these are SS10 Hotfix Rhinestones that I'm using. And just take your time. Look how pretty that is. Now, when you don't have very many to do like these, they normally go pretty easy. So, and the other thing is, once you start this process, you cannot lift up on here. If you lift up, you are going to mess up and have your rhinestones everywhere. And trust me, you don't want to do that. Once you think you have all your rhinestones in place, then it's time to transfer them over to your little transfer sheet. And so once you do that, you have them just where you need them. So I'm going to take my little kind of little, oh Jesus, see how easy it is, my little dustpan. And thank God they didn't move from the hair part. But if you do what I just did, just take your time and spread them back into place. If you take your time, then you'll be able to do this really easy. Okay, so we're going to take these, just get them over into our little dustpan here. That's what I like to call it, my little rhinestone dustpan. And I know I'm not going to be needing these, so I'm going to take them and get them right back into my little container here. And I'm just going to keep going. And look how pretty that turned out. Now once you get them all in, guys, you just want to take your time and just kind of look around and make sure you don't have any doubled up. If you have any doubled up, then you want to make sure you move those out of the way. Like here, I have one of them doubled up, and I just kind of use my finger to kind of help me along the way. Like I said, it's a very slow process. You don't want to try to rush this. It's not going to pan out in your favor if you try to rush it. So now I'm just going to look up and see if I see any doubled up here. And these look pretty good. I see one right here that's doubled up. So I'm going to use my little hand thing here to help me so that I don't interfere with the other stones. And just like that, you just move it out of the way. Sometimes they're really hard to see, guys, because you know they look like they're all in place, but trust me, you gotta really look. So I'm going to take my little light here and shine it on there just to help me out, because y'all know I'm just about blind. So that looks good. Here's a couple of them down here doubled up. Just be careful. Move them out of your way. Here's one that's not turned over on the right side. I'm just going to flip it over. They all need to be going face up on the rhinestone side. And as you can see, it's very easy to turn them over, just like that. And I think we're pretty good here. Alright, so I'm going to clean up my excess rhinestones. And I'll show you what that looks like. I have my excess rhinestones here. Gotta be careful. Got to be careful. All right. And there we have it. Kind of shuffled a little bit. This is the part I'm talking about. That's the hardest. All right, I'm going to get these going back really quickly, and then I'm going to bring over the shoes and everything, and we'll do that part, and then I'll show you the transfer tape part of how to move them from here over to your tape to get them to your t-shirt. All right, guys, so now we have our diva done. We got all of our rhinestones in the right place. We don't have any doubled up that I can see. And so now I'm going to show you how to remove these from your template over to your transfer sheet, and then you'll be able to move it, you know, pick it up and move it around. Okay, so let me grab that. So this is what we're going to be using. I call it like transfer tape, because that's really sort of what it is. But this is how you're going to get your rhinestones up from here so that you can easily move it over to your t-shirt for the heat press. So you just want to take a piece that's large enough, not too big. So you just want to make sure it's large enough for your design or your template, and then you just cut that. And we're going to lift up. We're going to lift up to remove this from that backing. And once we remove that from the backing, we'll then take the sticky side and stick it on top of our template design. You always want to start from the middle, so you can kind of see how I have it like going folded in like that. You want to have it folded in the middle, and you lay on the middle part first, and then you roll outward. Just like that. And if you see any of them move, you just kind of shift them back into position. It's really easy, guys. If you get nothing, I want you to realize that this is not a hard process. It's just you have to take your time. Just take your time. That's it. So I'm just shifting some of the rhinestones. And then I like to take my brayer. If you don't have one, just use your fingers. But I like to take my brayer and just kind of go over it to make sure that everything is stuck to the plastic. Just like that. And once you get them, onto your plastic, then you'll be able to move it around. So I have a couple of rhinestones up here that don't belong. So we're going to get those off. Try to get it without, I know I felt it. There it is. And there's one right there. So we'll get those over into our bag in just a second. Once you get your rhinestones all onto the plastic and everything is going in the right directions, if anything shifted, just move it back into place. Very easy. Very easy. Very easy. Look how pretty that is. Can you imagine once we get that on our shirt? All right, so now we're gonna take and we're gonna lift up the plastic. Again, time. Take your time. Take your time. If any of them are like stuck down, just use your finger to get them onto your plastic sheet. You don't want to pull this whole thing up only to realize you missed any. So take your time pulling them up. And like I said, if you miss any, just use your finger and press gently on it and pull up. And now we have it. All of our rhinestones now transferred over to our plastic. So you guys can kind of see that. They're now transferred. I'm going to try to do this so you can see it. They're now transferred over to the film, the plastic film. So now I'm going to put this to the side because it's ready to be ironed on, or not ironed on, but pressed on to our t-shirt. So I'm going to put that over to the side. And now we're going to take our next template. We're done with this one. And now we can just put this to the side and we'll have this ready if we ever need to do this design again. It's already cut out. You don't have to do any more cutting or anything. So try to find templates, guys, that you're going to, know that you'll want to reuse. That'll keep you from having to buy a lot of templates and having to cut a lot of different templates. To get something that, especially if you're selling these, that people will buy. Okay, so we're going to transfer this template out, and now we're going to do our shoes and our diva. That's going to go with our diva lady here. And these again are our Hyacinth AB template rhinestones. And I ordered these rhinestones, guys, from Amazon, from Beadland Hotfix Rhinestones. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put these down and do the same process that we just did with our diva by transferring these over. Again, just use circular motions. And this one shouldn't take as much work as the previous one because you don't have a whole lot of rhinestones that are required for this template. But again, take your time. Take your time. And the more you do this, guys, the more you're going to realize how much pressure it will take you to get them, into your holes. I was one of those people that I did not like dealing with little small pieces because I felt like they would get on my nerves. And I still feel that way, so this hasn't changed my mind or thought process on that. But I love the outcome of Hotfix, so that's why I'm sticking with it. I love it and I'm sticking with it. Circular motions. Some people just like to kind of pat them down. Whatever works, whatever you find works for you, that's what I say go with. But just kind of play with it until you see everything going in the direction in which it should be. And like I said, at the end, you're always going to have some that are either doubled up or some that did not end up on the correct side that you're going to have to fix. So that's to be expected. It's a part of the territory of working with rhinestones. Okay. we're almost there. The hard part is over. This is just time consuming, but it's so worth it. So I'm going to show you what happens if you don't get them all in place when you're, you know, when you're going over it. Like if I do this and I see that some are not in place, I'm going to show you how I handle them, because that is a part of the game. So I'm just gently rolling over it so that as I move it, I don't knock off rhinestones that are in place. So I'm going very lightly, very lightly. All right, so now I can take my little helper here, and any that I don't see going in the right direction, I'm just going to help them. Any that I see doubled up, I'll use this to help me to put it into place. So this one, I'm just going to flip it over. You want to make sure they're all going in the right direction. All going in the right direction. That one looked like it doesn't belong. So I'm going to use the right, I think one of those kind of silver ones got mixed up in this hyacinth color. And the same thing here, this one looks off. So I'm going to move that one out of place. And I'm going to replace it with the right color. So that, you see how easy that is? It's so easy, guys. And it turns out so pretty. Alright, we got all those going in the right direction. It looks like a hole right here. I'm not sure if that was a thing or not. It looked like it, but I guess it isn't. Alright, so we got our shoes. This one right here also looks like a color that doesn't belong. So I'm going to scrape that one out. And you can also use your finger. I think I picked up a couple of them just then. I didn't mean to do that. Alrighty. So I'm just going to move it over to the right place. I just want to make sure that in the end they all look the same. So all I'm doing is just taking and moving the colors into place. I'm gonna have to change my positioning because I don't have a good visual. Gotta move this light out of my face. Alright, so those are good. The shoes are good. I see a couple of them up here that are doubled. I'm just going to move them out of the way. Be gentle, because if you're not, you're going to mess up all your rhinestones that are in place, and you don't want to do that. So this diva is going to require a little bit of work, nothing major. And what I mean by that is I have quite a bit of rhinestones that are not going in the right direction. So we're just going to fix that. Get back over there. Okay. So I'm going to see what I'm missing here. And that'll be easier for me to fix it. First off, I'm going to start by putting those rhinestones that are not hyacinth back over in the crystal, which are these three right here. Those don't belong over here. And then I'm going to clean up the diva right quick. then we will be cooking with gas. Wherever you see a bead missing, you just bring it over and pop it right into place. Same thing. You see a bead missing, you just drop one on there and then move it into place. If you see any doubled up, move them back out of move them off your template. Very easy, guys, very easy, just time consuming. So when you start looking at, you know, I want to work with rhinestones, this is what it takes to work with rhinestones. That's normally why when you see people selling these completed designs, that's why they charge so much, because it's a tedious process. Picked up a rhinestone, I didn't mean to. That one is a little hard because it didn't, that one little area right there didn't cut really good. But yeah, if you got cardstock laying around, guys, use the cardstock for your background. Makes a very easy template for you. Okay. There we go. And we're going to fix these 2 or 3 right here. We're going to use another transfer sheet, your plastic, to transfer these over. And after that, it's just a matter of heat pressing them. Now, I normally heat press them at, I'm going to have to check my settings again, because it's been a minute since I did one. But I know I normally press them at like 6 seconds for 2 different times. Because there's one that don't belong. That one goes in the crystal. It looks like I've kind of gotten these mixed up a little bit. But it's so easy to tell, guys. You can see that color is off. Alright, so now we got our diva. Got one right here that is doubled up. And one I need to turn back over. There we go. Alright, so we're good. So now we want to get these all back into, you know, back into our bag. So let me get my little dustpan here, because you don't want to pick up any beads. So it's best to clean up before you use your carrier sheet to get them up. So take your time, do it right. I could have poured less beads or less rhinestones in the beginning, but I didn't. Alright, we're almost done. Just getting all of our rhinestones back into our bag. But I wanted you guys to see the full process of multicolor, 2 different colors. So you can see it's the same concept as using one color. It's just going to cut on 2 different templates, or it's going to cut on 2 different mats, shall I say, so that you'll know how to do your colors. And then you heat press on your diva. After you heat press on the diva, then we're going to heat press on the shoes and everything. But you do the diva first, as you'll see here in a moment. So I'm just taking another look-see to make sure all of my rhinestones are going in the right direction, all of the right colors, and none are doubled up. Those are the things that you want to take into consideration. Now I have a little dustpan with all my extra beads. And I'm going to use this tip side to put into the bag to get them all back in. And go ahead and seal it back up, because if you don't, trust me, you're going to pick this up and all your beads are going to fall out. And don't ask me how I know. Alright, so now I'm just going to cut off a little piece of the plastic, what I like to call my little transfer sheets. And I only need a piece big enough, large enough for, and you know what, I might even do the Diva by itself, because that might, let's see if this is enough for my shoes. Nope. I'm going to use this for my Diva so that I don't have to waste it. And then I'm going to cut a piece for that right there. I think that's what I'm going to do. And grab my scissors. Scissors. And you don't want it too short. You need it to cover your entire image. So this is how you end up with awkward shapes. So that's enough to do my shoes. And this other little piece is enough for me to do my Diva. So we're going to do the same thing. And actually, I might even cut this down a little bit more. No sense in wasting. You never know when you might just need just a little piece. Alright, so again, we're going to peel off the backing from the plastic. Just like that. And we're going to take this and still going from the middle outward. From the middle outward. Okay, just like that. Perfect. And I'm just use my finger to make sure all my rhinestones are going in the right direction. And all of them picked up. Just like that. Then we're going to go ahead, take off our backing here. And we are almost done with the tedious part. So I'm going to pull this over a little bit. Like that. And again, I'm going to start like as if in the center. Oh lordy. I cut myself too short. So I'm going to have to put a little piece of transfer tape right there. But I can cut some from here. So I'm just going to cut a little piece off right here. Just to put on this end. Like that. So if you ever cut it too short, just get you another little piece of tape. Use your fingers to get everything going in the right direction. Now this shifted a little more than I would have cared for it to, but I think we'll be good. Let's see if I can get them back over just a little bit. It's only because I'm sitting kind of awkward. There we go. And I'm going to use my finger here. Try to shift these back over. I like to make mistakes when I'm filming because I can show you how to fix it if you have that same issue. So that's the good thing about doing this in real time, and you know, not trying to make it look all like, oh, we never make mistakes. We all make mistakes. See how we got all those shoes, little beads back into place? That's all you got to do is just use your finger and shift them like that. If you cut your tape too short, just cut another little piece. And there we go. We got our whole template now. And again, we're going to take our brayer just to kind of go over it to make sure that everything is going in the right direction and that it's stuck like it's supposed to be. Hard part is over, guys. Now everything is easy. It's just a matter of heat pressing it on. So we're now going to take this. I like to kind of start putting everything that I'm done with back in place. So I'm going to put all this stuff up. And these are trash. That's where we put our excess plastic from. And let's get our beads and put our beads back in. That way I'll have everything all in the little bag here. And we're golden. Alright, let's go ahead and lift this up. Again, take your time when you're pulling up. If you see any of them not lifting up, guys, the best time to get them going in the right direction is to just push the film back down and then use your finger to pull it into place or to get it into place, and then just keep going. If you see any of your rhinestones here, let your film back down and then start over. Alright, there we go. We got our shoes now. And you don't want to lay this down on the sticky side. Always lay it down on the non-sticky side. That way it doesn't get stuck to whatever you laid it on. And then you might have a little bit of a problem on your hand. Alright, so I'll meet you at the heat press. Alright guys, we got our Diva down. We're going to heat press this at 335 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 seconds. And then we'll put on our shoes and the wording of Diva. So we're going to go 15 seconds. Alrighty. So sometimes if you don't have even pressure all over your heat press, sometimes you'll find that you may have to do it again, but you'll only know if you attempt to lift and the beads are still not lifting up, then I would go again. We're going to see what we get here. So you want to make sure that the beads are staying on the shirt. Perfecto. All right, so we got the first part down. Now we're going to do our shoes. Now we're going to put on our shoes. One second. This thing is trying to stick. Oh, Lordy. Gotta be careful. some of my beads came up. Surely did. So I'm gonna have to fix this right quick, guys, because I don't want to mess this up, because this is gonna be beautiful. I'm gonna get my little pin thing. I'm gonna put these in place and I'll be right back. All right, guys, here we go. Got it all going back in the right direction. You want to make sure you get your shoes and everything lined up properly. I feel a bead on my hand. I don't know where it came from, and I can't worry about it now. Alright, let me get my visual together here. Hold on one second. Alright, guys, here we go. So I'm not even focused on the diva. I'm focused on her shoes, because remember, I moved my diva over some. So dang it, I got one bead that just keeps acting up. Okay, hold on one second. Let's see if I can fix this one little crazy bead that does not want to go in the right direction. So give me 1 second. Just gotta get it turned over. Otherwise it's gonna be looking crazy. Alright, there we go. Just want to make sure it's stuck. Don't want to put it down and then it shifts again. So give me 1 second. It's kind of hard doing these standing up. So I'm going to get it the best I can. And if it don't, if it's not going in the right direction, I'm not going to cry about it. All right, there we go. Every time I say that, it turns back over. All right. I think I got them going all in the right direction except for one. I was picking it up and the sticky side folded over. So that's what caused me my problems. All right. Now I'm going to pull this up, put that there, put that there. Right in there. All right, that's about the best I'm going to be able to get it. I keep saying that and then I move it again. All right, here we go. This shoe goes all the way up like that. All right. I'm gonna see if I can shift these with my finger. And again, I'm gonna get it as best I can. All right, that's about the best I can get it. At least her shoes look good. So I'm gonna go ahead and press. All right, hopefully you guys can see that okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and press it now and make sure none of these are sitting on top of the others, because it is looking kind of wonky, kind of funky. I don't like it. Okay, that's the best I can get it. Look like the little one of them turned over. I'm not gonna worry about it. Let's go. All right. All right, 1 second. And we're done. Go ahead and get ready to peel this baby off and stick a fork in her. And it's normally not this tedious on this part right here, guys, but for some reason it kept wanting to do its own thing. So I'll probably put a couple of little rhinestones right there on my own to kind of make that go more like in the little seat thingy. But for the most part, it turned out pretty good. So that is it. Hopefully you guys can see if you guys can see the diva part. But that's it. I wanted to show you guys that it's not a big tedious or hard process doing 2 different colors. It's just going to print on 2 different, not print, but it's just going to cut on 2 different mats, so you'll know that one mat is this color, one mat is this color, and then everything else is the same. Okay. All right, guys, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. If you're currently following me on my Facebook group, Ken Doris's Cricut and Creative Crafters, I want to thank you guys so much for following me via Facebook. If you're currently subscribed to my YouTube channel, then I want to thank you guys so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time seeing my video or my tutorials, then please like, share, and subscribe to my channel as well. And that's it. All right, so you guys know my motto. It is each one reach one so that each one can teach one. And again, I did 335 Fahrenheit for 15 seconds. All right, have a great day. Bye.